2 more countries have joined a growing list of nations that pay their male and female athletes equally. Is the U.S. next? Reporter Shane Dieffenbach explains how the USWNT can win the fight against pay in unequal
Soccer
pay.
in the United States is growing, whether it be the MLS expanding to 30 teams by 2022 or the women's national team winning back-to-back World Cups. But for the women, there's a bigger goal in mind.
Firing for the back post, and it's another one for Arizona State!
The U.S. women's national team may be ahead of the competition talent-wise, but in terms of equity, U.S. women are now behind. Brazil and England are the most recent out of 5 countries to announce equal pay for men and women in soccer. Former professional track and field athlete and sports historian Victoria Jackson says our eyes should be on the next collective bargaining agreement after the current player contract expires in 2021.
I think the new CBA is where we should be waiting and watching, since the judge pressed pause on the equal pay and discrimination lawsuit and even said they couldn't appeal right away.
In 2019, more than 1 billion viewers tuned in to watch women compete in World Cup soccer, setting a new record for viewership. Even when the women's games are broadcast to a wider audience, the stigma of women's soccer still shows. Karen Bardsley of Manchester City recalls differences in how broadcasters covered the match she played right before Arsenal and Liverpool's men's clubs faced off in August.
A lot of the pundits and the commentary was about, how the pitch was pockmarked with stud marks and things like that, and how the more important game should have been played first.
Beyond cultural stigma, the U.S. women's national team suffered a legal setback in May when a judge ruled against their class action lawsuit claiming unequal pay and gender-based discrimination by the United States Soccer Federation. Moving forward, experts say sports culture and contracts will need to shift.
There should be a culture and a philosophical position of equal support. And we saw this with the WNBA's new CBA, that there had been a dramatic step up in what WNBA players would now get with their kind of historic CBA that was negotiated in the early spring of this year.
In Los Angeles, Shane Dieffenbach, Cronkite News.